Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Today we are here for round number 18 of the season, I believe, for the USA Grand Prix, the fourth from last race of the season. Now if you guys did miss the last episode at Japan, do check out that race before watching this one. It was Leclerc's first match point for the championship. Do we save it? Go check out the episode before I come back to this one. But today we arrive here at USA, Austin, Texas, and as you can see, no rain expected. Thank you, Lord. No more rain, at least for one more race. So good news there. Also, more good news, we do have an aero upgrade for the car. It's only a minor one. We've got a major one coming for the next race. So pretty much this race for me is really important. It's about survival because the next race is Mexico and that's a bit of a stronger track. This one is not so strong for me, and pretty much my plan of action here is to try and survive, stay in the championship for the next three races, going into the final three races more like, and hopefully we can really pile on the upgrades, and we'll get some more hopefully in this episode. But as you can see on your screen, Sauber bought a couple of upgrades of their own and they actually extend their gap to us, and they're so far away now. They're literally in a different league of their own at the minute, and they're so much more competitive than anybody else, and it's frustrating, but it's just the way it is. They're just really good at upgrading their car. Now today we're going to jump into qualifying here on the Saturday, and nice sunny conditions like we saw before, no rain expected, so a pretty straightforward session, and the target is simple. We need to get it at least on the front row to try and challenge Leclerc tomorrow in the race. You know, I think it's going to be quite hard to beat Leclerc around here. This track should suit the Sauber quite nicely. In theory it should do, because that massive back straight is going to really help that Sauber, with the power, and also the main straight as well, all the way up to turn one, going up the massive hill, is going to really help the Sauber out. And generally, they're not that bad for aero or chassis either, to be honest. So I think this is generally quite a good track for them. They might struggle for sector 3 a little bit, where the technical section is, but generally speaking, I think it's a track built for the Sauber. So we're going to have a work cut out here to try and beat those guys. So let's see what happens straight away at qualifying. Ultra soft tyres at the ready. 3 runs in this session, as we always do, and we're going to see how this one pans out. Straight away, we're going to jump on to our first run, and to be fair, as an opening lap and as far as bankers go, it was a very strong banker lap, to be fair. Alonso currently P1 in the other McLaren, and yeah, I was quite happy with this. There was a couple of places, like, here and there where we made some mistakes, like for example just there at the penultimate corner, running a little bit wide, missing my apex, but still a good banker and a good reference point for the rest of the session. As you can see, we go P3 there behind Leclerc and Fernando Alonso, just a couple of tenths off, so not too shabby there. But now on a second attempt, I went out again, and this one didn't go so well. We got turn 1 wrong, we kind of lost the back end under braking there on entry into turn 1, and then I thought I'd try to recover it, and I tried to push a bit more into the S's, and it backfired as I pushed too hard and actually ended up cutting the corner there and invalidating my second attempt. So I went back to the drawing board. I made a few setup tweaks. I made a tweak to the front wing. Actually, I took it down from 2 to 1 to pretty much the lowest front wing available, because I had too much front end grip and it was making my back end too unstable. So I brought the front wing down to give myself a little bit more understeer and make the car, generally speaking, a bit more stable. And this final run was my best run of the session. So we're going to run on board and we're going to see how this lap went. Straight away, turn 1. Perfectly executed, good exit as we now go through the S's here. It's all about momentum and letting the car do the work here. Good setup, let the car just flow through. You get a pretty good run there, but then I kind of have to get a correction there, which cost me a little bit of time through the left. We couldn't really commit to that corner, which was a little bit annoying. And then over the hill here, we actually lose quite a bit of time compared to my previous best. So a little bit down so far on the first part of the lap, but that's okay. As we now go down towards the hairpin, we actually get this absolutely perfectly. We get no major wheel spin, nice clean traction onto the back straight, and we actually dip into the overtake mode here on the ERS just a little bit to try and maximise the top end speed. So far, good recovery. We've made up that little bit of lost time in the first part of the lap, and now we're going to go towards the second half of the lap, the very tricky and complex sector 3 pretty much, and a little lock up there. Luckily, we still are up on the delta by about a tenth of a second as we now go into the very slow and patient section here through sector 3, and it's all about mechanical grip in the car. And to be fair, we did okay, but I think that I left some time on the table here, to be honest with you, and it wasn't the smoothest run. Like, it just felt okay, but I could have gone a lot quicker, I think. Either way, now 2 more corners to go here, and this is all about, just having the confidence to just throw the car in, because the apex is blind pretty much, you can't really see it. We get it pretty nicely done, and now the final corner, we actually brake quite late, got the power beautifully there and gained a little bit of time, and we improved by more or less 0.2 of a second, but we only got to P4 and behind Alonso, which is a bit frustrating. Later on, we get knocked down to P5 as Ricciardo would split us in the Red Bull, so quite an unexpected one there. Disappointing, to be honest. I think, the pace of the car was decent. The car felt good, but I don't think I had great pace. I knew this isn't one of my strongest tracks, and I knew I was going to be up against it. I think I could have got P2 if I'd had the perfect lap, but it would have had to have been literally flawless. And in a more realistic scenario, I reckon P4 was definitely achievable, beating Ricciardo. But that's the way it goes. Didn't really optimise the qualifying. I ruined my second run, so hopefully in the race tomorrow we can try and turn it around on strategy, and fingers crossed we can try and pull a miracle out the bag as Leclerc starts from pole position. Either way, let's get into it. It's time for the USA Grand Prix. Let's go.
You didn't practice much this weekend. Are you saving your car for the race? You left some bodywork out there on the track. Were you struggling for grip? Well, thanks anyway.
In 2012, America's on-again, off-again love affair with Formula One finally seemed to settle down with the completion of this wonderful racing facility here in Texas. Since then, we've been treated to some incredible races, including, of course, that classic wet-dry championship decider of 2015. We're racing today then in Travis County, Texas, where 20 corners and speeds of up to 200 miles an hour await us on this magnificent racetrack. It's 60% full throttle with plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the 2 DRS zones into turn 1 and at the end of the long back straight into turn 12. What a race we have in store today. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Now I want to ask you about Charles Leclerc. They come into this race with a healthy championship lead. I don't want to say the title race is over, but surely it's going to take something special or catastrophic to change the outcome at this point.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, Crofty. Yes, it looks like a big lead, but all it takes is a locked brake into turn 1, a sticky wheel nut in the pit stop, and that could all get turned on its head. You can never discount one more sting in the tail.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, with Marcus Ericsson alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Alonso, Ricciardo, Martinez and Vettel, Raikkonen, Verstappen, Sainz and Lewis Hamilton, Grosjean, Magnussen, Sergio Perez and Bottas, Ocon, Hartley, Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll, Hülkenberg and Sergei Sirotkin rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for the USA Grand Prix here at sunny Texas. Beautiful conditions, nice sunny skies, and pretty much it's all to play for. Pressure's on. We need a big result. We need to beat Leclerc again here. And as long as we outscore him, no matter what the positions, we should be good. So, yeah, we've still got a long way to go. I mean, realistically, I have to outscore him by 10 points. The best case scenario for me is if I win and he finishes third. That would keep my title hopes alive. It's going to be tricky, but I'm going to try my best. All I can do at the minute is just pretty much finish ahead of him. That's the best I can hope for. And then hope for something like Japan. With that being said, though, race strategy, ultras onto softs, a simple one-stop strategy. Fuel-wise, 1.5 laps over. And let's just jump into it here and waste no more time. Let's get to work. Aggressive on the first lap, hopefully a good start. And we can try and cash in and get to Leclerc as soon as possible. And I'm hoping Alonso can help me out as well. And who knows, maybe Ericsson's maybe get in the mix as well. Either way, let's jump into it. It's time for round 17, or round 18 more like, the USA Grand Prix. Let's go. Right, here we go. Let's build up the revs. Get ready for the 5 red lights here at the Circuit of the Americas. Lights out and away we go. Ericsson gets a good start. We don't get a great one as Vettel does jump me. I'm going to try and go aggressive right on the outside of turn 1. Very deep on the brakes. Going to get the traction down here. Try and get past Ricciardo. There we go. Leclerc's dropped down to P2 as well. Ericsson's taken the lead. So that's a good start for us. Going to adjust the brake bias here. Move that up. But it's a Sauber 1-2. McLaren 3-4. Very aggressive turn 1 there. We've got a poor actual second phase. The initial reaction to the 5 lights was good, but I got a little bit of wheel spin in the second phase, which set me back. But still a good start nonetheless. Just trying to get these tights for temperature here. Ricciardo's looking for the move. Just going to try and keep everyone at bay as we go into the back straight for the first time. Hopefully Leclerc can not pass Ericsson straight away and we get a little bit of a race here today. Onto the back straight. Let's see what we're like for straight on our speed relative to our competitors. Looks like we're pretty decent. Kind of the same. Let's test the brakes out now into this brake zone. Leclerc does stay behind Ericsson, which is good. So let's try and make these moves. I need to get past Alonso as soon as possible here. And I'm kind of hoping I've got some race pace in me, because if I don't, we're going to be in trouble. Ericsson sets the pace, but DRS is now enabled and Leclerc is within range, which is frustrating. I'm just outside of a second from Alonso here. Hopefully I can close that gap, come on the back straight, but for now we're just trying to hang on here with the pace. But the pace is very strong from the front three, and I'm really hanging on by a thread here. Right, here we go into the back straight then. Have we got enough to get past Alonso? I don't think we will. Same machinery, we're quite far back, although we are gaining quite a bit here on my teammate. Okay, we actually are getting quite a lot here. Down the inside of Alonso, I didn't expect that, we were so far away, but we've made it work, and Leclerc hasn't passed Ericsson the first time I've asked him with DRS, which is good. It's very close to him, but hopefully we can close up here and get in amongst it while they're still in that order. But I got a feeling the second I close up, Leclerc's going to pass Ericsson. But let's try and catch him up if we can. Again, Ericsson stays in front. Leclerc had a look, but he couldn't make a move on him. I just can't close up though. The Sabos are just too fast. I need them to actually battle for me to close up, because right now they're just kind of staying single file and slipstreaming each other. Leclerc's gone for it. They're side by side now, both of the Sabos. They're finally battling for the lead of the race. Come on, Ericsson, stay on top. We can't keep up here, but if I can just hold on until we get to the pit stops. I'm kind of praying Leclerc goes for a two-stop and goes aggressive this race. He's got the move done though, and takes the lead. What we can do now is hope Ericsson maybe gets back past straight away. I'm starting to struggle on my rears. 103 Celsius. I'm starting to feel it. It's only a matter of time before it starts to really kick in. I've got to be careful here. But looks like Alonso's going to have a run at me here. I'm going to have to go defensive and try and hold the position. Here he comes, showing the long way around. Hopefully he doesn't lose time and doesn't get overtaken by Ricciardo behind. That's what I don't want. Leclerc's starting to set the gap out front now to Ericsson. But I've got to take it easy on these rear tyres, and I've got to kind of back off my pace. Okay, Alonso pits in. Interesting.
Fernando's in the pits.
It's a very early stop, but then again he was going for the two-stop, not so much. We're coming into this one stop here. Oh, my rears are really struggling now. I need to try and find a way to manage these. Right, here we go. Looks like everyone's going for the one stop. So again, on paper, the best it seems we can pull off this race is P3, unless one of the Sabers retire safety car or something. Looks like the Sabers are still staying out. We're going to come in though for the soft compound tyres. We're going to go to the end of the Grand Prix. So I'm not really sure what the Sabers are doing now. A bit of a different strategy maybe. Vettel joins me in the pit lane, and here we go then. It's a battle of the pit stops. Hopefully McLaren are on form today, as they usually are. I need a 2-second flat stop just to be sure. Here we go. Oh, here we go, 2.1, that's a good stop. Looks like Ferrari are not that good at stops, and we've actually kept a nice gap to Sebastian. There goes Alonso, he's on the ultra, so he's going aggressive. And we rejoin on the soft. Can we get in front of these Toro Rossos? Brendan Hartley being the first one, yes we can. And actually Vettel's going to come out behind the Toro Rossos, that's going to split us. So critical gap there into clean air. Let's get up the speed and try and get away from these Toro Rossos if we can.
Right, some information on Hamilton. They seem to have an issue.
Okay, Hamilton with car trouble. Looks like the Sabers have stayed out for another lap. So interesting strategy there. We're going to get hopefully at least one undercut lap on the Sabers, which is good, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm hoping Alonso might be a wild card here. If Alonso keeps on pushing like he does, he might come out in front of the Sabers, which is good. So that could be an interesting one. Looks like one of the Sabers came in and they're well ahead. So I'm going to guess that's probably Charles Leclerc, which is annoying. And I don't really know what tyre he's gone for. He might have gone for a super soft, to be honest. Looks like the Sabers have good tyre wear around here. Although we're now catching up to this trainer 3, which includes the struggling Lewis Hamilton, who's at the front of it, as you can see. So we're going to try and get these moves done. Looks like a few of these cars are going pretty slow. I'm trying to look for a way through here. Looks like everyone's visibly struggling for grip. I'm going to try and set them up here. Over the crest, on the power, down the hill. Hot lap and rich mix engaged. Double overtake down the inside. There we go. A little bit of contact with Perez there, but very simple move. Now we're going to fly past Hamilton, who's obviously struggling with his car. Pretty simple move here. We're just going to power past. Look at the difference in straight line speed. And there we go. Job done. And we are through. Job done. P5. Up next, Fernando Alonso. And we've got, I think, Kevin Magnussen, yes we do, in the pit lane. So we're going to inherit our original positions. Both of the Sabers have done their pit stops. And Alonso, unfortunately, due to traffic, wasn't able to really maximise there and capitalise on that. Otherwise, I think he would have at least got one of the two Saubers on the undercut. So it's a bit of a shame, but still, we're now net P3 if we go to the end of these tyres. So let's just focus on bringing this one home, and hopefully we've still got the whole second half of the race to go here. I'm kind of hoping something will happen, or maybe that one of the Saubers have a problem. That's all I can hope for at the minute, because I've got nothing else. I've not got their pace. Whew, that's a bit too quick. That's actually shocked me then, put me offline. Could they be on ultras? Could they be going aggressive somehow? I'm not really sure, but that's a very quick lap from Leclerc. Dare I say that's probably on super soft, that's my guess. At the minute, my lap times is very consistent. The soft tyre feels great, as we actually set a personal best. Pretty much matching Alonso lap for lap, but yeah, nothing really happening at the minute. Just all about consistency, trying to stay in there within range in case the Saubers do maybe two stop, because they have just checked on the replay and they are on the super soft. So all I'm hoping for is that they do an extra stop for the ultras once again at the end of the Grand Prix, but that remains to be seen.
Fernando's in for his stop.
There you go, Alonso pits in. He's had enough of those ultras. He will now go on to supers. I'm expecting him, and he's going to go on a bit of a late race charge. At the minute, we're looking okay. These tyres are barely worn. These tyres just last forever, which is good, because I can just enjoy myself and drive at a consistent pace and not have to worry too much, which is good. Tyre temperature's also under control on these quite easily, so it's all about just bringing it home. Really, it's looking like P3 unless something happens. So I'll put it cut to you when there's something big or something happens. If not, it'll be the end of the race pretty much, because there's a long way to go still in this race and nothing's really happening at the minute.
Some information on Vettel. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
For a second there, I thought we might have just had Christmas, but no, it's Sebastian Vettel. Still, I'm hopeful something can still happen, you never know. Personal best, a 0.6, just stretching my legs a little bit. These tyres still feel very good, and I can definitely push on these, but there's no reason to push because I've got nothing to push for. Ericsson's only 15 seconds up the road, they're just so much faster than me, the Saubers.
Some information on Gasly. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Another car problem, this time Pierre Gasly out the race. Unfortunately, not the one we wanted. We've had Hamilton with issues this race, Vettel with issues, Gasly retiring, but the Saubers stay bulletproof. Pretty much 2 laps to go here. It looks like no signs of anything changing, and at the minute Leclerc is on course to win the championship in this race if things stay as they are right now. Okay, Lance Stroll is now retired from the Grand Prix. He's out. There he is on the pit straight. For some reason the message is staying on my screen. Why is this happening? Either way, last lap of the Grand Prix, big screen freeze there. Not sure what's happening right now, but that message stayed on my screen. Also, Ricardo's just closed right up to me. I've kind of just switched off his last 2 laps. I'm going to have to go up the hot lap to try and respond to Ricardo here and not let him catch up. But that message is just staying on my screen for some reason, so looks like we're stuck with that for the rest of the race. There we have it then. Leclerc crosses the line in style with the 31.4 fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And he wins the race, and he's going to win, I believe, the World Drivers' Championship. And I believe, with this result, with me and Alonso being 3rd and 5th, I believe that Sauber are going to clinch the Constructors as well. It might be double celebration for them. We'll confirm that in a moment's time. But one thing's certain, Leclerc has won the championship. Thoroughly deserved. We're going to come through, though, for another podium. 3rd place here today. The best we could have done in terms of the pace we had. But yeah, overall, that is it for the USA Grand Prix. And we go again next time in Mexico.
There were questions at the start of the season as to whether this package can really go all the way. But there's no question anymore. What a special year it's been. And here they are now, the new Formula One World Drivers' Champion. That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Sauber. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Right, so there we have it then. Charles Leclerc wins the championship here at USA Sauber. Also win the Constructors, and they do it in style, clinching the 1-2 finish there with Ericsson in P2. We come home P3, running off the podium ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso. Then Raikkonen and Verstappen, Sainz, Magnussen and Hülkenberg round off the points, and then outside of the points are Grosjean, Perez, Ocon, Bottas, Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton, both of those with car issues. Hartley, Sirotkin and then Stroll and Gasly retiring in the closing stages of the Grand Prix. But with that being said, fair play to Charles Leclerc. He absolutely deserves the championship this season. He's been a cut above everybody, literally. He's been in a class of his own, and also Sauber as well. You know, they deserve credit for the upgrading and the package they have. But in terms of the standings, there's a confirmation as Leclerc is back to being 94 points clear of me, with 3 more races to go and 75 points up for grabs. It's now mathematically impossible, and yeah, pretty much what we can do is solidify the runner-up position. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso jumps up to 8th, overtaking Nico Hülkenberg, which is good news, and hopefully he can push towards Verstappen for a late season push. In terms of the Constructors though, it's looking pretty good for us at the minute in P3. We're closing in on Ferrari, and second place is yet to be decided, and I think this isn't over just yet, and I think this could go down to the wire. So there's something to fight for still in the Constructors Championship from now until the end of the season. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for USA. We're now going to move into the laptop and get any possible upgrade on the car, and basically keep on upgrading this McLaren as much as possible before the season ends. So with that being said, let's jump into the laptop. Okay, so on the theme of aerodynamics, we're going to keep on pushing on. So we're going to upgrade the rear downforce. Even though the championships are over, we're still fighting for that second place in the Constructors, so we're going to make sure we get that. So we're going to get another upgrade on the car, and we should have a double aero upgrade on the car for Mexico, fingers crossed, and that should really give us a nice little push towards Sauber there and close the gap, fingers crossed. With that being said, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this episode of Crim, and if you did enjoy it, then please do drop a like, and also get subscribed to the channel if you are new around here. Also get turn notifications, for daily Formula 1 content and not miss out on any uploads from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.